Hello, my name is Ana Macias, and my subject is protection of estuaries by making good bridges. Let me start with a simple backstory of one of my first classes in the university. It was in Introduction to Civil Engineering, and the teacher said why a lot of times earthquakes doesn't kill people, but structures in bad shape do. They spent hours teaching us about houses, buildings, and bridges that fell because they were not well constructed, because they didn't have enough money to be well constructed, and because they didn't care about the limitations of the place, for example. They basically give us a really good reminder that we have to be aware of the surrounding in a construction. So let me ask you this. What is a bridge? Most of you know what is a bridge and what does it do, but let me give you one description anyway. A bridge is a structure built to overcome a physical obstacle, such as a body of water, valley, or road. In Colombia, one of the most important constructions are bridges because they were a big part in the growth of the infrastructure in Colombia in the last decade. Usually, these structures are well constructed and they can last a very long time. But because they're made specifically to last that long, people should be aware and understand how to build them, thinking in all the variables of the construction, meaning how big it will be, the limitations it will have, and the impact around it. For bridges that crosses a river or the sea, it is very important to think about the ecosystem that is being developed underneath. So what about bridges that have estuaries underneath it? Then you will ask, what is an estuary? An estuary is an ecosystem made of a body of water that has one or more rivers or streams flowing into it and also have a free connection to the open sea. This is a dynamic ecosystem and it suffers degeneration from a variety of factors, such as erosion, that is a gradual destruction of the soil because of winds or rain, deforestation, that is destruction of trees, overgrassing, overfishing, and the filling of wetlands, that is something nature does by itself. Estuaries help to maintain a healthy environment, generate food and resources for fishes and birds, and they are places that attract tourists and where boats can land. For this living environment to survive, people have to pay a lot more attention to them. They have to limit the pollution that goes into the water, they have to plant trees, and they have also to report the threats to the estuaries, but they don't normally do it. With this in mind, we have to find a way to stop this from happening, to stop the creation of bridges that damage estuaries. So the structure plan for this kind of project must include a way to keep the ecosystem safe. Scientists have to test the amount of water that flows, the amount of bridges, and the changes in the tide. After that, they have to create versions of canals that let the water flow in a very similar way for the ecosystem to recreate these conditions. When the bridge is finished, we will have to give it a period of time. When it's finished, they will have to monitor it for a while to see if the changes are happening in the way they want. After a bridge is finished, an assessment can be made about how much the ecosystem is still in its normal course. So even though this is what people expect from this kind of project, the amount of planning and money invested in them is quite low. In Colombia, the amount of money isn't high enough, but also most of the projects takes too much time to be done. And in the process, money get lost and people just want the construction to be finished. This allows to do more harm than any good, and the amount of consequences that it will bring not just to the environment but the economics part that manage, for example, the fishing are catastrophic. Estuaries are very relevant and people should be paying more attention and how to build it should be paying more attention to them, not just the one constructing them. Like this, we will have a happy green environment that takes care of its ecosystems. Thank you.